Part 1. The Tributes. In the post-apocalyptic nation of Panem, structured on the ruins of what was once North America, we meet a brave young huntress named Katniss Everdeen. She lives in District 12, the poorest of 12 outlying districts that are each distinguished by a different industry. District 12 is known for its coal mines, where the townsfolk toil daily under the threat of cave-ins and black lung disease. Despite its contributions, District 12 remains poverty-stricken and is often overlooked by the ruling class in the glittering capital. Katniss is a beacon of resilience amid despair. Following the death of her father in a mine explosion, she stepped in as the provider for her family, using her archery skills to hunt for food in the Forbidden Woods. Her life is tough, but it's a struggle she willingly endures to ensure the survival of her despondent mother and cherished younger sister, Prim. Each year, in a grotesque reminder of the district's rebellion and their subsequent subjugation, the capital mandates a brutal competition known as the Hunger Games. In what's ceremoniously called Reaping Day, one boy and one girl aged between 12 and 18 are randomly selected from each district to participate in these games. It's a fight to the death in a vast, outdoor arena, designed for the morbid entertainment of the capital's citizens and televised for all of Panem to see. This year's Reaping Day is particularly chilling for Katniss. Despite the odds, the unthinkable happens. The delicate, nurturing Prim is chosen as the female tribute for District 12. In a moment of sheer desperation, Katniss does the only thing a loving sister could do. She volunteers to take Prim's place, a rare occurrence in District 12. The male tribute chosen alongside Katniss is Peter Mellock. The baker's son isn't a stranger to Katniss, their paths having crossed years ago under the shared experience of hunger. When Katniss' family was on the brink of starvation, Peter risked punishment to provide her with a loaf of bread, a small act of kindness that had given her hope. As the chosen tributes, Katniss and Peter are taken from their familiar lives in District 12 and ushered into a world of decadence and danger that awaits them in the capital. Part 2. The Preparation. Katniss and Peter, now known as tributes, are whisked away from District 12 to the lavish and technologically advanced capital. Here, they're introduced to an extravagant lifestyle that is worlds apart from their humble beginnings, full of opulent banquets, plush accommodations, and outlandish fashions. Their arrival at the capital marks the beginning of their preparation for the Hunger Games. First and foremost, they are introduced to their team, assembled to help them make a lasting impression on the citizens of the capital and gain sponsors. These sponsors can provide crucial aid during the games, such as medicine or food, which are parachuted into the arena at a cost. The team consists of their mentor, Haymitch Abernathy, a District 12 citizen and the only living winner of the Hunger Games from their district. He's initially a cantankerous drunk, but over time, he proves to be a shrewd tactician, coaching them on the strategies they need to survive the games. An essential part of their preparation is their transformation by the stylist team, led by the artistic and empathetic Cinna. Despite being a capital resident, Cinna shows no appetite for the city's excessive and artificial fashions. Instead, he respects and emphasizes the tribute's individuality in his designs. He creates a captivating outfit for Katniss, complete with a cape and headdress that, when lit, mimic the flames without burning her, earning her the moniker the Girl on Fire. The spectacle cements her as a standout tribute in the minds of the capital's populace. Simultaneously, the tributes are given physical training, where they are taught survival skills and combat tactics. Here, Katniss excels with her bow and arrow, while Peter reveals his impressive strength, honed from years of lifting heavy bags of flour in his family's bakery. In the tense days preceding the games, an important spectacle unfolds: the tribute interviews. These interviews are designed to give the citizens of the capital, and indeed all of Panem, an insight into the lives of the young tributes they will soon watch in the deadly Hunger Games. The interviews are hosted by the capital's beloved television personality, Caesar Flickerman, a man as charming as he is flamboyant, with his trademark glittering suit and artificial smile. Every tribute gets their turn in the hot seat next to Caesar. They are drilled by Haymitch, their hard-edged mentor, on how to present themselves, and how to win the affection of the audience, for it is the audience that sends potentially life-saving gifts into the arena during the games. Peter Mellerk, the gentle baker's son from District 12, seems unassuming at first. Under Haymitch's guidance, he's trained to come across as likable and relatable, a boy with a kind heart, strong enough to face the games but still very much human. His affable nature and self-deprecating humor endear him to the audience, but it's his final revelation that leaves the capital and indeed all of Panem in shock. In a heartfelt confession, Peter admits to having been in love with Katniss, his fellow tribute, for as long as he can remember. It's an unrequited love, he admits, making his participation in the games even more tragic. This unexpected declaration sends ripples of surprise, intrigue, and excitement among the audience. Suddenly, the games have a romantic angle, a poignant love story that tugs at the heartstrings of the viewers. This narrative of star-crossed lovers is a strategic move, effectively painting Katniss and Peter as a pair the audience can root for. But for Katniss, this public declaration of love proves challenging. She struggles with the sudden spotlight, the expectations that come with it, and her confusion over Peter's admission. Yet, she also recognizes this as a crucial element of their survival strategy. Over time, Katniss learns to navigate this complex dynamic, embracing the image of a young woman caught in a fatal love story. Even as the reality of their impending fight to the death looms, she plays along with the lovers' narrative, not knowing the profound impact this will have on their journey ahead, both in the arena and beyond. This period of preparation is a whirlwind of emotional and physical transformation for Katniss and Peter. With the capital's eyes trained on them, they must not only adapt to their new reality but also prepare for the grim fight for survival that lies ahead in the Hunger Games. Part 3. The Games. With the commencement of the Hunger Games, the atmosphere in the capital intensifies. The tributes are sent to an enormous outdoor arena, each year differently designed by the game makers to pose new dangers and challenges. This year, the arena is a treacherous wilderness, complete with woods, streams, and fields that teem with both edible and poisonous flora and fauna. Katniss, drawing on her hunting and foraging skills, decides to flee the initial bloodbath at the cornucopia, a gladiator-style starting point where weapons and supplies are scattered. This strategy contradicts Haymitch's advice, who suggested that they should form alliances with other tributes. Despite their mentor's counsel, Katniss opts to navigate the wilderness alone. Katniss' days in the colossal arena are filled with wary exploration and the relentless struggle for survival. Each sunrise brings new challenges: the relentless thirst as her water supply dwindles, the gnawing hunger that never seems to abate, and the bone-chilling cold that descends once the artificial sun sets. Her agility, honed from years of hunting in the forests of District 12, and her unparalleled archery skills, become her lifeline, helping her secure food and maintain a safe distance from the other formidable tributes. Cloaked in the shadows of the dense woods, Katniss keeps a keen eye on the dome of artificial sky overhead, her heart skipping a beat each time the ominous boom of a cannon reverberates through the arena, signaling another tribute's demise. The games, ever evolving and cruel, are manipulated from afar by the game makers, led by the remorseless Seneca Crane. To keep the Capitol audience on the edge of their seats, they use their technology to steer the narrative. In one chilling instance, they orchestrate a monstrous wall of fire that pursues Katniss, forcing her back towards the perilous cornucopia, where she is assaulted by flaming projectiles that graze and burn her. Later, they unleash a terrifying pack of genetically engineered creatures, mutations, whose savage attack results in the death of Cato, the formidable tribute from District 2. In the vast, hostile arena, Katniss finds an unexpected ally in Rue, the petite and agile girl from District 11. Rue's inherent familiarity with treetops and her extensive knowledge of edible flora become invaluable. Together, they devise a risky plan to sabotage the food supplies of the careers, tributes from wealthier districts who've trained their whole lives for the games. Their successful mission upends the dynamics of the games, offering some semblance of a level playing field. Their alliance blossoms into a deep connection, echoing the sisterly love between Katniss and her younger sister, Prim. It's this bond that makes Rue's death, at the hands of another tribute, so heart-wrenching for Katniss. She mourns the loss of her ally, her companion, honoring Rue's memory in a defiant, touching tribute, adorning her with a crown of bright wildflowers and serenading her with a lullaby from their home district, a final farewell under the watchful eyes of the Capitol and all of Panem. The days and nights in the arena begin to merge into a disorienting blur for Katniss, punctuated by episodes of heart-stopping fear, numbing fatigue, and the relentless fight to keep breathing. The isolation of the arena, the absence of familiar faces and voices, the perpetual feeling of being watched, it's a psychological warfare as much as a physical one. All she can do is hold on to the memory of Prim's face, her mother's voice, and the resolve to make it back home. Then, amidst this ceaseless turmoil, an announcement echoes across the arena. It's a monumental shift in the Hunger Games history. The game makers declare that two tributes from the same district can now emerge as victors. This change in the rules is not arbitrary. It's a calculated move by the game makers, a clever ploy to stir up fresh drama and rekindle waning viewer interest. Katniss realizes the dual implications of this rule change. On one hand, it's a beacon of hope, a possibility that both she and Peter can defy the odds and return to District 12. But on the other hand, it adds a new layer of complexity to the game. It's no longer about solo survival, but about protecting another life as well, a task that carries its own set of risks and challenges. The prospect of a shared victory fuels a newfound determination in Katniss. It sparks a frantic search for Peter, who, she recalls, possesses a unique talent for camouflage, a skill he honed during his years decorating cakes at his family's bakery. She understands that Peter could be anywhere, blending seamlessly into the environment. The quest to find him becomes as much a game of spotting the minute details that might betray his presence as it is a race against time to reach him before another tribute does. When she finally spots a hint of his presence on a riverbank, relief washes over her. But the sight of an injured Peter quickly replaces relief with dread. It's a stark reminder that the Hunger Games are far from over. If anything, They've just moved into a new, more demanding phase. Part 4. The Victors. With the new rule allowing 2 victors from the same district, the Hunger Games take on a renewed urgency. Katniss, having just lost Rue, now has a new mission: finding Peter. When she eventually locates him, it's a shock. He's wounded, his leg deeply gashed, and he's cleverly using his painting skills to camouflage himself along the riverbank. Caring for Peter becomes Katniss' priority. With the help of her and Peter's sponsors, who send gifts of medicine, Katniss manages to nurse Peter back to relative health. They spend their days hidden in a cave, and during these intimate moments, the lines between their pretend romance for the audience and their genuine growing feelings for each other blur. As the number of tributes dwindles, the game makers continue to increase the stakes to keep the audience engrossed. They announce a feast where each tribute's much-needed item would be available at the cornucopia. Against Peter's protests, Katniss attends the feast, successfully retrieving medicine for Peter but getting injured in the process. As the days bleed into each other in the perilous arena, Katniss and Peter persist in their struggle for survival. The other tributes, once vibrant figures each carrying their hopes and fears into the arena, fall one after another. The echoing booms of the cannons gradually diminish until they cease altogether, marking the end for all but one other tribute, the ruthless Cato from District 2. The climax of the games takes place on the foreboding structure at the heart of the arena, the cornucopia, a horn of plenty now associated with nothing but dread. It's here that the showdown unfolds, with Katniss, Peter, and Cato poised for a fatal confrontation. Just when they think the worst is behind them, the game makers introduce a gruesome twist. As if plucked from the most horrific of nightmares, they release grotesque creatures into the arena. These are not ordinary beasts. They are mutations, genetically engineered monstrosities bearing the faces of fallen tributes. This shocking revelation sends a wave of horror coursing through Katniss, reminding her of the merciless nature of the games. Amidst this nightmarish scenario, the trio is thrust into a deadly dance of survival. They maneuver around each other, each trying to gain the upper hand, their actions dictated by a desperate desire to survive. After a tense and perilous struggle, Katniss and Peter manage to overcome Cato. In a desperate move, they succeed in hurling him off the cornucopia and into the clutches of the waiting mutations. However, death does not come swiftly for Cato. His specially designed body armor prolongs his suffering, subjecting him to hours of torture at the hands of the mutations. As his screams echo through the night, a profound sadness seizes Katniss. She can't help but see him as a victim, just like all the tributes, caught in the grip of the Capitol's cruel games. Unable to bear his prolonged suffering, she mercifully ends his life with a well-aimed arrow. The confrontation leaves both Katniss and Peter physically and emotionally drained, but alive. As the sun rises over the arena, they find themselves the last tributes standing. But the games, they soon realize, are not quite over. Thinking they've finally won, Katniss and Peter's relief is short-lived when the game makers retract the rule about dual victors, attempting to force them into a showdown. But Katniss, always one step ahead, suggests a suicide pact, offering out poisonous berries known as Nightlock. The idea is to deny the Capitol their victor, robbing the games of their finale. Their act of defiance works. Faced with the prospect of having no victors, the Capitol is forced to intervene, declaring them both winners just as they're about to swallow the berries. The Hunger Games end, leaving Katniss and Peter as the victorious pair, the star-crossed lovers of District 12. However, their return to District 12 is not the happy homecoming one would expect. They've survived the games, but the mental and physical scars they bear make it clear their lives will never be the same. Furthermore, their act of defiance against the Capitol has sown the seeds of discontent, hinting at the biggest struggle yet to come. Thank you for watching. You could download the vocabulary PDF below. To stay up to date on our future videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and let us know what you think in the comments below.